Hello and welcome to New Biz Buzz. My name is Leon Thomas, the host of New Biz Buzz. Looking forward to having a great conversation here today with Lori Fish-Bard. This is New Biz Buzz, the show where we talk to business owners that have a new business, a business that is unique, or a business that does something to help society. You're watching New Biz Buzz. Here we go. Welcome again to New Biz Buzz. I'm Leon Thomas, the host of New Biz Buzz. You can watch us every Monday and Wednesday right here on these same networks. Wherever you're watching the show today, you'll be able to see our show every Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So if you're watching it on LinkedIn right now, be sure to come back every Monday and Wednesday to watch it on LinkedIn, or maybe you're watching through YouTube or maybe on Facebook. Either way, we're here. We have a great guest today. Her name is Lori Fish-Bard. Lori, how you doing?
I'm good, Leon. Thank you. How are you?
I am just groovy. Thank you so much for being with us on New Biz Buzz. Now, Lori, you and I met through a networking organization called Network Referral Group. We'll talk about that some later, but I always like the folks watching the show to know how we met. So we met through networking, right?
That's right, which is kind of new to me. I'm just dipping my foot into it, but it's super fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, especially when you meet cool people like me. I mean, you can just put more than a toe in there. You can go all in with this networking thing. So Lori, you are a nutritionist, right? You're a nutrition counselor. Give me the 30-second, 45-second background on what that means. When someone says I'm a nutrition counselor, what does that mean? What do you do?
Right. So I'm actually a clinical nutritionist and an integrative health coach or a health counselor, right? So what that means, and you can say it any way you want to say it, but I help people. I help people feel better, right? And I use the primary tools of food and lifestyle to get there. And that's basically it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you say the primary tools of food and lifestyle, so it sounds to me like if we eat the right things and do the right things, that everything could be okay, but I'm probably making it more simple than it really is.
Yeah, I think, we all eat food, right? We're eating food all day. Most of us eat 2 to 3 times at least a day. And food really has the power to either create health or deplete health. And I don't think we all realize how much power food has. And because we do it on such a regular basis, it's the most consistent thing we do. And so that adds up, right? There's a cumulative effect to that. And sometimes we can use food choices and lifestyle choices to kind of prevent chronic disease, or if we're already there, kind of make it better or even reverse it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting you say that about the lifestyle choices. One of the things that I was diagnosed with about 10 years ago is high blood pressure. And one of the things that the doctor told me, he said, you have high blood pressure, but I don't want to just simply put you on medication right now. I'd like to see if we can make some modifications to your eating habits and to your lifestyle. Now for years, I saw people pop a pill, I have high blood pressure. It became like a common thing, right? And he says, I need you to make some changes. I'm like, okay, what are we going to change? Because I had never heard of the idea of modification. Let's make some changes. And now I hear you talk about it. So when you meet someone and they contact you and they say, look, I need your help. I need to make these changes. What happens? How do you determine what changes need to be made for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's just what you said about popping a pill. I think most people, I don't want to generalize, but I think as a society, we do like a quick fix. And we
Hmm.
do kind of just want to pop that pill. And honestly, for a lot of people, it's a lot easier to pop a pill than to really take a microscope and look into the food choices and look into how we live our lives and how we manage stress. But when people come to me, I do a full kind of assessment and health history of where they are, right? Just talk about from beginning to where they are now, what has happened in their life health wise. I am trained to look at labs and kind of understand what those markers may mean for now and the future. And, I'm also, in addition to the clinical experience I have, I'm a health coach. And so that really encompasses a lot of like behavior modification and holding someone's hand and coaching them and being their cheerleader,
Hmm.
because you can tell somebody to start eating greens and to reduce their sodium, but it's another thing for them actually to know how to do that and to stay on track doing that.
Hmm.
So I kind of bring a unique combination, which, I bring the knowledge of what food can do and what supplements can do, but then also guiding somebody through that process so they feel like it's manageable in their life.
Hmm. Now, you mentioned that you are trained to look at the, what did you call them? The reports,
Labs.
the
Yeah.
labs, right? You're
Yes.
trained to look at
Yeah.
the labs. So that means you have some type of formal education. This you are just, it doesn't sound like you're someone who said, you woke up one morning and said, you know what? I'm going to be a health coach and nutrition counselor, and I'm going to go to Google and YouTube and get some information. And boom, I'm going to make a website and hang a shingle and I'm ready to go. It sounds like you have some training, some education. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Thanks for asking. Because I do think in this field that happens. Like, I think a lot of people consider themselves experts in nutrition, and no knocking them, but I did put a lot of education into this. So I have a master's in clinical nutrition. And then I am licensed through the Board of Dietetic Practice in the state of Maryland. And in order to get that license, you have to complete 1,000 practical clinical experience hours, as well as sit for a licensing exam, a board exam. So there's a lot of training that goes into being licensed and certified as a clinical nutritionist. And my health coach training was through a certification program. It was a 1-year program that I did through the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, which was excellent as well.
Hmm. Okay, so folks, those of you watch the show, Lori is not someone who just said, "I think I'll do it." She really knows her stuff and has the training and the education that goes along with it. Now, Lori, this sounds like this is something that's a passion of yours. Many of us have passions, things that we believe in, things that we lifestyles that we have, things that we feel strongly about, and it sounds like that this is a passion for you. How did it become a passion? All of the things about nutrition and lifestyle changes. Where did that come from? How did it become a passion for you?
Yeah. So I think kind of my aha moment that I knew I was super interested in this was when I was a new mom. I had my first, I have 3 children, but I had my first baby who is now 20. But, she was 5 weeks old, and she was really sick. She was having some major scary GI, gastro issues. And I went to a specialist at Children's Hospital, and they said to me, I think you have to stop nursing. She's reacting to something. You need to put her on this special, like, elemental formula that was super expensive and smelled really bad. And I just like thought to myself, I know nursing is a good thing. I know breastfeeding is good. What can I do to continue breastfeeding? And he was like, well, you can take out some of the top allergens out of your diet, and we can see. So I said, okay, what are those? And he's like, seafood, nuts, eggs, soy, dairy, gluten. I'm like, okay, that's good. I will do that.
Hmm.
And I did it. And literally within like a week, everything disappeared. All of her
Wow.
internal bleeding stopped. All of the GI stuff totally stopped. And I really was like shocked. And I had this like aha moment, like, this is crazy, because it was the first time that I saw that food had such a direct effect on someone's health. And it wasn't even my health, right? It was the
Yeah.
health of my baby girl who I was nursing. And it was just crazy. And I was so interested in that I started reading everything I could and going, online and just loving, anything I could get my hands on around nutrition. It really wasn't till like 10 years after that that I solidified my formal education and decided to dedicate my career to this. But it definitely made me realize, wow, there's something here.
Hmm. And that was how long ago?
That was 20 years ago.
20 years ago. So let me kind of recap, make sure I got it right. So you're breastfeeding, and the doctor said you need to make some changes, right? And tell me what those you mentioned like three or four things. What were those again, real quick?
So they're basically top allergens. A lot of people have sensitivities to foods.
Hmm.
And, I think it's like the top 7 or 8 allergens: dairy, gluten, soy, corn, seafood, nuts, and eggs. I think those
Hmm.
are like the top ones that he asked me to stop eating. And when he said that, that was like pretty much my whole diet. But I was willing to do anything. We call it an elimination diet when we take out some of these top food sensitivities or allergens. But at the time, I really had never heard of this, but I
Yeah.
was willing to do anything. And it was like magic.
Yeah. And
And then
so,
what you
yeah.
do is you systematically add things back in to try and figure out, okay, which one of those things is really the culprit here.
Uh-huh.
And for my daughter, it was a few of them actually. Like I was able to add in maybe 3 or 4, but for the most part, while I was nursing her, and I nursed her for 28 months, while I was nursing her, I really did stay away from those foods until her system matured a little bit. And then I was able to kind of introduce them all back.
Yeah. Nice. Nice. So then, so you're there with your daughter, and then you start reading up on things, and then it took you a while before you really said, this is something that I really want to do. And I think about so many of us that we get into businesses through passions, right? We get into opportunities just are there because of something that we really enjoy doing. For me, it's racquetball. I've played racquetball off and on for 40 years, and someone asked me if I could coach their kid, and the next thing you know, I'm coaching all these kids in racquetball. It really wasn't what I planned to do, but a
Right.
passion, something grew. And I found that when folks are more have a passion or that aha moment or that story to tell, it makes what they do more relatable to others. I mean, I'm just thinking about your story of how this all started. And what I'm hearing is, I could see other people listening to that story and hearing you say, I was just like you or in a very similar position that many people are in, and here's how I got started. And so I want to help you. And so now you started a business. Of course, you have a website where you do this. And I took a look at your website. And one of the things that I like you to explain to me, because I really don't know what this means, but if you could kind of, I don't know, simplify it or help me understand it some, I sure would appreciate it. I saw on your website the term seasonal cleanses. Seasonal cleanses, right? But what does that mean? Every fall, I'm gonna. Go ahead, because I'll screw it
Yeah.
up and I'll confuse people if I start taking a guess. So, what does that mean? Cleanse,
Sure.
and
Well,
what does seasonal cleanse mean?
first of all, thanks for perusing my website.
And I'm
Uh,
going to hold on. Let me go ahead and make sure everybody has an opportunity to see your website. Guys, can we go ahead and put her website up there? There it is. That's your website, healthyheartbeat.com. I've been there. Okay, go ahead. So go ahead, continue.
yeah, so I think it was, wow, I launched my business about 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. I started doing cleanses, which really, and I did them every season, right? So I did a fall, a winter, a spring, and a summer. And it's kind of based on ancient kind of Chinese medicine, where they say with the seasons comes opportunities to cleanse different detox organs in the body, right? So spring is aligned with detoxing the liver and the kidneys, for instance. So I put together a program. It's a 7-day program. It's completely plant-based, so it's vegan. There are no animal products in it. There's no sugar in it. There's no kind of inflammatory foods like gluten and dairy. It's really a week. It's 7 days to kind of give your body a break from your kind of usual vices, right? no coffee for a week, maybe no alcohol for a week, maybe just some clean, detoxifying foods to just kind of give your system a reboot. And I started it and I had like 4 people sign up and I was like, oh, we're gonna do this.
Hmm.
And it's really grown, right? And it has a nice following and people tell me they look forward to it. And I've added a ton of new recipes to it. So it's just a nice way to kind of either jumpstart your health, or if just kind of get rid of some bad habits, or if you've been trying to get off sugar, kind of it'll help you do that because you kind of need the support of other people and myself to hold your hand again. That's where that coaching comes in. And
Hmm.
I give everybody what they need. I give people a meal plan, recipes. It's done through a private group in Facebook. So that's what that is.
Okay. Okay. So maybe when's the next one? So it's seasonal. So I'm thinking that it's seasonal. So that would mean the next one would start in the fall. Is that
Yes, I
right?
knew you were going to ask me that. And I have not set a date, but I'm thinking like either the last 2 weeks of September.
All right.
But
Last
it will
two
be on my
weeks.
website.
It'll be on your website. And again, the website is healthyheartbeat.com.
Yes.
That's Lori's website right there on the screen, Healthy Heartbeat. Lori, we're going to take a real quick break to talk about some of the other shows we have, and we'll be right back to continue the conversation. Folks, you're watching New Biz Buzz, the show where we talk to business owners and managers of businesses that are new, unique, and do something to help society. Be sure to watch this show every Monday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And be sure to watch our other shows, Real Thoughts and Conversations. That's the show where we bring up topics that a lot of folks don't want to talk about, or something that's pressing in society, and we talk about it, sometimes have disagreement in a very civil manner. That's on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. That show is called Real Thoughts and Conversations. And we're producing a sports show for an up-and-coming sports broadcaster. Her name is Jasmine Pollock. You can watch her show Mondays at 8 o'clock on these same social media networks. The name of her show is Jasmine Pollock's First Impressions. If you'd like to contact me, have an idea for a show, or you'd like to be a guest on a show, of a business owner who would be great to profile here, send me an email. My email address is leonthetrainer@gmail.com. All right. So back to you, Lori. Let's talk some more about some things that you do. Corporate wellness. Corporate wellness. Let us know what that is.
Sure. So I have always been really fond and I enjoy kind of talking to large groups. I was in theater growing up and I did a lot of like oratorical contests. So I've been
So you were in theater. What'd you do?
I just was in my, middle school, high school theater
Yeah.
shows, musicals.
Oh, right on. Nice.
And I was in these oratorical contests, like these contests where you write a speech and then you present it. I don't even know how I got into that, but I was really into it. I won the state of Florida championship, whatever. I was really into it. So I was figuring out how can I kind of integrate my love of engaging with a crowd, but still kind of create health and help people. So I started putting together some wellness presentations and I pitched them to different organizations. And I've been doing them. I've been going to organizations. Well, the past 2 years, I've been Zooming with organizations and just kind of, engaging a group of people on a topic to help them embrace their health and maybe take it to the next level or get them excited about doing something that's going to make them feel and be healthier.
Yeah. And I have to think that, considering that many company human resource departments are now focusing on making sure the entire person is healthy, right? Just not
Right.
through the health insurance. And
Right.
there has to be some conversation now about nutrition as well as mental health. That those two things would be in high demand. So I hope that goes very, very well for you. Now, also on your website, you mentioned some of the topics and workshops that you offer. What are like the top 2 or 3 most requested workshops, or those that you think are the real hot hits?
Yeah. So I think smart nutrition for busy people is a very popular hot topic, right? We're all busy. We all want to
Hmm.
be smart about our nutrition choices. So I get hit up on that one a lot. And then these past 2 years with COVID, I put together kind of a boosting immunity during COVID-19 era. That was very popular. And I'm basically just educating people about how the immune system works, what foods and supplements and lifestyle habits can actually boost our immune health. So
Hmm.
that's been very popular too. And then before COVID, I did a bunch of cooking demos and smoothing demos, and those were always super popular because there were samples involved, and people love samples.
Yeah, yeah. Now you said smoothie demos?
Yeah, just doing different green smoothies. Smoothie is such a great vehicle to get in a lot of vitamins and minerals and nutrients.
Yeah.
So I would just make different smoothies and then we would all taste them and talk about why we're putting different things in smoothies.
Oh, wow. Wow. I like smoothies.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
The most
Wow.
important thing you have to remember when you make your smoothie is to always put greens in it, dark leafy greens.
Put greens in it.
So if
Okay.
you like a strawberry banana smoothie,
Hmm.
go ahead and make your strawberry banana smoothie. Just put like a handful of fresh spinach. You won't taste it. It'll change the
Okay.
color a little bit. You won't taste it, but it'll elevate the nutrition in a big way.
Okay. All right. Let's stay on this smoothie track for a second because you really got me now. You're talking about first, I'm going to do the cleanse in the fall, but maybe we'll have a follow up show on that. But let's also talk about smoothies now. Now, one of the things that I was told by someone at the gym that I used to go to, they said that you have like a 30 to 35-minute window to provide some nutrition after your workout. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but the place started selling smoothies and I started drinking smoothies and getting smoothies after I worked out because they said it was good. I don't know if it's because they wanted to get eight, $6 or $7 out of my pocket or not. I don't know. But can you give me what's the real deal on that? Was this just a money maker for them, or was this real stuff? Eating a smoothie after your workout. Give us the real skinny on this.
Right,
You get to
right.
get the combination there, the real skinny. You
That
see
was
skinny.
good. That was good. Yeah, I think it's always good to replenish your fuel after you've burned it. And particularly if you've done a strength training workout, right? So if you've broken down those muscles, to start rebuilding those amino acids, it is good to have like a protein, something with protein in it. Doesn't have to be a smoothie, but
Hmm.
could be if it had protein powder in it. So yeah, it's a good idea to always replenish your fuel. And you just need to be smart about what's in that smoothie, right? You just don't want it to be all sugar, right? Like just all. Sorry, that's my phone.
Uh-huh.
Um, One of the fun things about doing this from home.
Right.
But yeah, you just want to make sure it's balanced with your macros, your fat and your protein and your carbs. But I think it's a great idea
Hmm.
after a
Okay.
workout.
All right. So they just weren't trying to hit me for another $6, $7. All right. All right. So anyone at that gym, because I'm not going to mention the gym, but anyone at that gym that I busted on you and said you're just trying to get more money out of me, my friend Lori just said no, you weren't, and that I really should have been getting those smoothies anyway, and so I did.
Well,
So,
I mean, I will say, Leon, you could also pack like a bar in your bag. Like you don't have
oh,
to get this. You could pack your own protein source.
okay. All right. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Lori, we have like maybe 3 or 4 minutes left. You had a very unique background though before you got into nutrition counseling. Tell us some about what you did, because I think you had one of the like coolest jobs ever. You have a cool gig now, but I think what you did before was cool too. Can you tell us real quickly about that?
Are you talking about the Speakers Bureau that I worked
Yeah,
for? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I had a deal with my parents. Let me move up to DC. I'm from Florida. I was like, let me move up to DC. Let me support me for 2 to 3 months. Let me see if I can get a job, and then I'll figure it out. And I was very lucky to land this job at a speakers bureau where we represented, speakers who went on the lecture circuit and spoke, ex-presidents, ex-secretaries of state, people, just actors. I mean, it was very high profile people. So it was a very cool job. And I got to travel with them and help write their speeches. And it was just awesome. I loved it. And I was
Yeah,
there for a good, like, I don't know, 7 years.
yeah.
And then I just did marketing and PR, did some event planning, public relations, fundraising. I just kind of did a bunch of stuff before I landed in nutrition.
Nice, nice. We all have that other piece, that's something else that we used to do.
Yeah.
Lori, do this, please. When I want you to just think generically, though, right? Because I know every person is different, every situation is different. But I want you to give me like 3 to 4 or 2 to 3, whatever that number is, but don't make it 100 generic things that when you meet with folks and they say, I want to improve my lifestyle, I want to make some changes, I want to eat better, I want to eat more nutritionally sound. What are the like basic mistakes that you see most common? Give me like 2 or 3.
I would say that people dismiss how much stress has an effect on one's health. I don't know if we talked about it, but I really look at the whole person in a holistic way, and stress affects every organ system in the body in a major way, starting with the gut. And we know health begins in the gut. So I think that I don't think we know as a society how to manage our stress in a productive way. So I think that's a biggie. I think thinking fat is not healthy. Thinking people should avoid fat because of the way, if you grew up in the 80s, you remember everything was like low fat or no fat.
Right.
We now know that every cell in the body has a phospholipid bilayer. It has a fat layer around it, and we need to constantly be replenishing that to keep our cells nourished and healthy. I think that's a big one. People are afraid of fat. And I think another big one is people think they can exercise their way out of a bad diet.
Okay.
They don't really care. They're like, yeah, it's fine. I had this, but I did a 45-minute workout and it was a hard workout.
Yeah.
And I think that exercise is super important. We could do a whole segment on that. But again, like I said at the beginning, food is something that we do consistently every day, and we have to make good choices of the nourishment that we're putting in our body.
Yeah. So it's kind of like some folks think that I can eat a Milky Way bar and then go run a mile, and they kind of balance each other out, right? And that's really not
right. That's looking at it in a very simplistic, maybe calories in, calories out. And we know that calories aren't created equal. It's very different to eat the same 100 calories, whether it's 2 cups of broccoli or 3 Oreos. Right? The body processes that and metabolizes that very differently.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Something we do with many of our guests, Lori. I'm going to ask you some real quick hit questions. Nothing too difficult. We're not going to ask you what happens if you get on a train in LA at 8 and your friend gets on a plane at 4. What time will you cross each other in Kansas? No. We're not asking anything like that. Here we go. What's your favorite color?
Color blue.
Favorite color is blue. What's your favorite food?
I love arugula. I love steak. Can I give you more?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Give me one more. I got arugula and steak. Okay, that sounds pretty healthy. Go ahead.
I guess my cheat food, like my unhealthy, I love French fries.
Oh, the French fries is the cheat food. Okay. Now, will I find you going through a drive-through and getting some of those fries and eating them in the car?
No, I definitely would not be doing that, but I would go to like a really good, French place and get their frites, like get their really delicious French fries.
All right. Favorite movie?
I think I would have to say my all-time favorite movie is The Color Purple.
Color Purple. Nice one. Okay. Favorite sports team?
Florida Gators.
The Florida Gators. Is this their thing? Is that what they do? All right. The Florida Gators, right on. And what's your favorite activity, like your favorite exercise? You have something that you do that's your favorite?
My favorite exercise or activity?
Yeah, activity.
So I do love to exercise like that. I love getting a good sweat on in the morning, but my mom recently just taught me how to play Mahjong.
What's that?
A Chinese tile game. Hold
on. Now we got to extend the show for like 30 seconds so you can tell me what that is. Go ahead.
So it's a Chinese tile game, and it's called Mahjong. and it's played with tiles, and it's almost like gin rummy or rummy key. You try to make certain patterns with the tiles. Anyway, a group of friends and I just started getting a group together and playing, and I'm loving it. That's my new activity right now.
Now, how do you spell it? I'm actually going to write this down and look this up. We're going to have you back for Mahjong lessons. How do you spell that?
I think it's MAH, and that's the first word, and then JONG.
MAH, first word, JONG.
Mahjong.
All right, right on. I'm going to look into that.
It's really addictive.
All right.
It really uses the brain in a great way, and it challenges you. I really love it.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. All right, I'm gonna check it out. Lori, thanks for spending some time with us on New Biz Buzz, and I want to make sure that everyone has all of your contact information so that when they want to get in touch with you. So I'm going to ask our team to go ahead and put your website up there. All right, that's healthyheartbeat.com. You can find information to connect with Lori there. And also, I think you also said that the cleanse would be done through your Facebook page, right?
Yes, there's a separate page, but you can access it through my website.
Okay. All right. So there's the link to the Facebook. And again, the website is right there on the screen, healthyheartbeat.com. Great. Lori, thank you so much for being a guest on New Biz Buzz. I enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Leon. I appreciate it.
Folks, thank you for watching New Biz Buzz. My name is Leon Thomas. Looking forward to seeing you again, having you watch another episode of New Biz Buzz. Here we go.